Hello everyone, today I'll be analyzing Watcher, a 2022 psychological thriller directed by Chloe O'Connor, through the lens of feminist literary theory. My guiding question is, how are women fears and voice portrayed in this film, and what is it just about how society responds to them? This theory helps us examine how gender roles, power structures, and social expectations shape women's experiences in literature and film. I will provide you with a short summary. Watcher follows Julia, a former actress who moves with her husband, Francis, to Bucharest for his job. She doesn't speak Romanian, has no job, and spends most of her time alone in their apartment. Soon she starts to feel like a man in the building across from her is watching her through the window. What makes the story different from a typical thriller is how the people around her react or do not react. Her husband tells she's imagining things, the police mock her. This creates a deep sense of isolation and fear, not just because of the stalker, but because no one is actually listening. One of the first red flags comes from Julian's husband. When she says she feels watched, he tells her, maybe he just thinks you're pretty. This line may sound casual, but it's dismissive. It frames a clear fear as a compliment. It's a subtle way of invalidating her voice and emotions. Later, when she tells the police, they laugh, and one says, what should he do, arrest him for looking at her? These moments show how society often trivializes women's experiences, especially when those experiences involve male behavior. Feminist critics describe this pattern as a cultural gaslighting, where women are taught to doubt their own instincts and are made to feel irrational for expressing their discomfort. This connects to several feminist literary terms and ideas. First, there is gaslighting, a psychological tactic where someone causes you to question your perception of reality. Julia experiences this repeatedly from people she trusts. Second, we see objectification. Julia isn't heard, she is watched. The camera even mirrors this male gaze, showing her through windows and doorways, just like her stalker sees her. Third, patriarchal social norms are visible in how Julia is expected to behave. She's supposed to be grateful, composed, and silent. When she expresses fear, she is labeled as emotional or unstable. These expectations limit her freedom and force her into silence. Feminist theory helps us to see that Julia's struggle is not just personal, it's systematic. The movie doesn't even pass the Bechdel test. As there are two characters, Julia and her neighbor Irina, their main conversation centers about Julia's fear of being watched and the man that she suspects. Also, Irina discusses her abusive acts. While there may be brief side talks, the central topic is constantly male-related: gender, stalkers, and ex-husbands. What makes Watcher especially powerful is the way Julia changes. At first, she tries to follow the rules, she communicates clearly, asks for help, and stays composed. But when she's continuously ignored, she reaches a breaking point. In the final scene, Julia ends up alone with the man who's been stalking her. He attacks her and she kills him with a piece of broken glass. Then she walks out and the script simply says, she screams. The scream is symbolic. It's the first time she's fully heard. Throughout the film, she's been silenced by everyone around her. Now she finds her voice not through the words, but through actions. She's no longer the passive object being watched. She becomes the subject, the one who takes control. This moment reflects what feminist critics call a reclamation of voice, when a character refuses to be silenced by social systems and asserts their agency. In conclusion, Watcher uses horror as a suspense to show a deeper truth. That the real threat to women isn't just a man in the window, it's the world that refuses to believe them. By playing feminist theory, we understand that Julia's story isn't just about fear, it's about power, silence, and the consequences of being unheard. She's not overreacting, she's reacting to society that repeatedly tells women to stay quiet. And in the end, when she finally screams, she's not just surviving, she's being heard. Watcher reminds us that listening to women isn't optional, it's essential. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you took out some important concepts. It was me, Kate, speaking, and see you next time.